The big day has finally come. For the first time in franchise history, the St. Louis Dragons are in the Super Bowl. The only team standing in our way of NFL immortality is the Baltimore Ravens. Today, we'll find out if Puma Whitlock and the Dragons can win their first ever Super Bowl championship, or if the run for the big one will fall just short. It has been a very fun and exciting playoff run thus far, and hopefully we get one more banger to finish things off. In the last episode, we had the NFC Championship game against the number one seeded Carolina Panthers on the road in Carolina, and it was our defense who really led the way. We ultimately won this game 24-6, and this is coming off a game 2 weeks prior where our defense led up 56. But since then, the defense has done a phenomenal job of righting the ship with only 23 points let up over the last 2 games. I think the story of this one was our early control and ultimately building off of that in the second half despite a slow start offensively. Puma Whitlock did his thing while Bryce Young was picked off twice and sacked 7 times. The pass rush had a big day for us. We ran the ball well again. Darwin Juskins had another great game. Arturo Modelo had the best playoff game of his career, 10 catches for nearly $150 and a score. But it was the defense who led the way, and as I mentioned, the pass rush was spectacular. Of our 7 sacks, 5 of them came off of linebacker blitzes, with Penultimo Barahona getting 3, Ryan Nada getting 2, and even Jermaine Pratt on a 2-point conversion. So technically we had 8 sacks. We played against the Ravens back in week 1 of the preseason, so we're starting our season with them, and we're ending it with them. Season 6 has been quite the journey. We've had some ups, we've had some downs, and we've had some laughs along the way. But our team has won 3 playoff games in a row, 2 of which by multiple possessions, along with the wacky game against New Orleans, ultimately bringing us to Super Bowl 63 in Minnesota against the 14-3 Baltimore Ravens, who have been the best team in the NFL this season. The Ravens are the favorite going into this game. But we're used to being the underdog. We were against Carolina in the NFC Championship, and we still won by 3 scores. Nonetheless, this Ravens team is an entirely different beast. Since losing in week 1 against the Jets, the Ravens have been fantastic, only losing 2 more games, falling in defeat to the Chargers, and then, ironically, the Carolina Panthers. But the Ravens have been rock solid the entire season. Plenty of multi-score wins, including a blowout in the divisional round against the Raiders, although the AFC Championship was a lot closer, beating the Colts by just 1. So the Ravens know how to win games where they're the team who's in control the entire way, or close games that go down to the wire. Along with that, the storyline of these 2 quarterbacks is certainly going to be one worth following, as Lamar Jackson and Puma Whitlock finished first and second for the MVP. Puma probably had the better season passing the ball with 5,000 yards, 40 touchdowns, and only 7 interceptions, but Lamar was a little bit more efficient, second highest passer rating ever, and that's along with 1,000 rushing yards and 9 scores on the ground. Lamar Jackson was legitimately unbelievable this year, and I'm not sure there's a quarterback in the league who it would make sense to take over Lamar Jackson in a game like this. The guy is the total package. As a runner, as a thrower, as a leader, he checks off all the boxes, and here at 31 years old in his 11th NFL season, he's looking for Super Bowl number 2. He has been fantastic since this series started. He's made a whole lot of money. He's won plenty of awards, but his biggest accomplishment of all was winning the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson's already won the big one. He's already conquered the beast. He knows what it takes in this game. 2 years ago, the Ravens beat, ironically, the Carolina Panthers in Super Bowl 61, with Lamar winning the Super Bowl MVP. I was looking at Lamar Jackson's career stats through 11 seasons, and surprisingly, his passing stats, at least, are somewhat comparable to that of Puma Whitlock, who's only played 5 NFL seasons. Puma's only down by around 10,000 yards and 100 touchdowns. Now, obviously, he's not even close as a runner, but it shows the different styles of play that these 2 teams have used and obviously succeeded with. Behind him is the rookie Charlie Davenport along with Zach Wilson. We cannot escape this guy, can we? At running back, the dynamic duo of Devon Achane and Darian Wiseman. Two very differing skill sets, but they complement each other well. At receiver, it's Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, rookie Iggy Maddox, and the X-Factor tight end Cornelius Reese. The Ravens also have one of the best offensive lines in the NFL, and their defense is quite strong as well, with Justin Madubuike, Odafe Owe, Ladarius Winston, and David Ojabo all going after the same quarterback. In the middle, we've got the duo of Roquan Smith and Patrick Queen. On the outside at corner, it's Marlon Humphrey and Xavion Proctor, along with Marcus Williams and Chris Gentry rounding out the back end. Kyle Hamilton, though, is gone, as is Justin Tucker. But for the most part, this is the same Ravens team who we've been accustomed to seeing over the last couple of years. I think this might sound like a little bit of a surprise, considering the Ravens have been a little bit better than us this year. But I actually think they match up really well for us. So as we look at these two teams, we've got the top two scoring offenses in the NFL, but the thing with the Ravens is they rely on the ground game, as they always have since drafting Lamar Jackson. Well, lucky for us, we have the number one rushing defense in the NFL. If there's anybody who can stop this ground game, it's us. Lamar Jackson is going to be forced to throw the ball often, and our pass defense has been, well, it's been shaky at times this year, largely because of the performance of high-level receivers. Well, as we look at this Ravens team, they don't have an alpha at wide receiver. Their four leading receivers are all within 100 yards of each other on the year. They're very balanced, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I think as we look at some of the worst Dragons' defensive performances this year, it's often been because of the play by opposing receivers. Many of our recent losses over the last few years against Carolina were often because of Matthias Abanda. Earlier in the season against New Orleans, it was Justin Jefferson who scored 3 times. In our loss against the Buccaneers, Griffin Weaver III and Tykeem Keon Jr., the two former Dragons, combined for 300 yards against their old team. In our close win against Atlanta, Drake London went for nearly 200 yards. Against the Dolphins, Jalen Waddle did go for 200, and then the game we allowed 56 against New Orleans in the playoffs, Justin Jefferson had maybe the best single-game receiving performance I've ever seen. Many of these receivers were covered by Cam Lucifer, who did not have a very good season. But here in the playoffs, we've moved him into the slot where he has excelled. So I'm curious to see if one of these guys can really step up for the Ravens or if they're going to have to spread it around. Their offensive line is fantastic, and I think the big matchup will be Cameron Boger, who's the weak link on the line, against Simeon Bonnet, who obviously has missed most of the second half of the year for us, but he is healthy and he will play in this game. Now, as we look at our offense versus their defense, I think that's going to be a pretty fun clash. We had the number one scoring offense in the NFL, the number one passing offense, and the second-ranked rushing offense. The Ravens are quite balanced as well. The weak link with them, I would argue, is their pass rush. I think Puma Whitlock is going to have time to throw the ball. If these receivers can get open, I think the passing game is going to be able to excel. So what would winning a Super Bowl mean for Coach Scotty Pickens? Well, it means everything. These are the moments that you dream of as a little kid in the backyard throwing the pigskin around. Scotty Pickens won championships as a player with the Tennessee Titans, and now he's looking to do so as a head coach. We'll be without a few players. No Owen Popo and Milan Santa, of course, but we've been without those guys for pretty much the entire playoffs. We've been able to handle it. The Ravens really don't have many injuries either, so both teams are pretty healthy for the most part, with only 2 starters out for this game. So it's time. I think our squad is ready for the moment. This is what we have been building for since the very first episode of this series back in August. I think these guys are ready for the chance to win a title. It's been 6 long, hard-fought years. By the way, Cam Lucifer and Demore Diggins now have Superstar X Factor, so that's going to give us 3 X Factors at corner. So without further ado, let's get this show on the road. Welcome to Minneapolis, home of the Vikings, a team who really does not know a whole lot about Super Bowls. Ironic that they're hosting one, as the Baltimore Ravens and the St. Louis Dragons square off for the honor of winning Super Bowl 63. Lamar Jackson and Puma Whitlock pose for the trophy. The 2 best quarterbacks in the National Football League this year look to add another trophy to the resume. Lamar Jackson has already won a Super Bowl. Puma Whitlock won 2 national championships back in college with Ohio State. And now he's looking to add a Lombardi to the mantle. Let's take a look at both teams meeting here for the coin toss. The Dragons captains, led by their quarterback, Puma Whitlock, and St. Louis will start with the football. So it will be Puma Whitlock, Arturo Modelo, and the Dragons offense who open things up with possession, and we'll see if they can set the tone offensively as they were able to over the first 2 playoff games, but not so much last week. The rookie, Jalen Mallard, is back deep to receive the kickoff from Riley Patterson. So without further ado, let's stop the anticipation, let's stop the wait, let's get this show on the road. Super Bowl 63 is underway. Jalen Mallard receives it in the end zone. He's going to take it out with blocks towards the middle of the field, and he's quickly wrapped up at the 22. Here's a look at the St. Louis Dragons offense featuring Puma Whitlock, who of course signed a $448 million contract extension earlier in the season, and not everybody agreed with the decision. Puma Whitlock had only won 1 NFL playoff game coming into this season, and he quite frankly wasn't that good in that game. But he's been phenomenal here down the stretch this year. As on first down, he's under pressure and is incomplete for Arturo Modelo. Great coverage there on the play by Marlon Humphrey. As we again take a look at the notable inactives. No Owen Popo, no Milan Santa. 2 big losses on both sides of the ball. Here's Darwin Juskins on second down. He gets 5. Juskins was good in the regular season, but has elevated his game here in the playoffs. Now Juskins is facing off against a great run defense, so it's going to be a challenge here today. 3rd and 5. Puma looks downfield. It is broken up by Marcus Williams. Amarion Cephas was the intended target. He was open, but the pass was a little bit underthrown, and the Dragons will start with a 3-and-out offensively. Let's take a look at the Ravens now, led by the Super Bowl MVP from 2 years ago, Lamar Jackson. If he retired today, he would undoubtedly be a Hall of Famer. 2 MVPs, a Super Bowl title, and now he's looking for another one. From the 30, here on first down, Lamar drops back to throw. It is a wide open man. It's Palmer. Down the field. He's wrapped up at the 37. A quick start here for Baltimore as they go with the wheel route, and Demore Diggins gets left in the dust. So a big start here for Baltimore as it's a handoff up the middle for Devon Achane. Doesn't get much, maybe 2. He's wrapped up by the veteran linebacker Jermaine Pratt, who of course signed with the Dragons back in the divisional round. 2nd and 8, back to Achane. He gets around 2 more. Finnegan Howell Coleman brings him down, one of the many expiring contracts on this roster. The Dragons are going to have a lot of tough decisions, win or lose. 3rd and 6, broken up, incomplete. Zay Flowers had it in his hands, but Jeff Okudah is there to deliver the hit. So the Ravens offense is stopped, and they're going to have to settle for 3. Riley Patterson from 49, his kick is up and good. And the Ravens lead 3-0. So Patterson puts Baltimore on the board as the Dragons offense returns for their second drive. They're hoping this one ends up being a lot better than the first. Starting at the 25, Puma looks to throw it. He's going short for an open man. It's Darwin Juskins out of bounds. Wrapped up by Marlon Humphrey, but not before getting a first down. St. Louis is looking to set the tone by going slow. No need to go for the home run. Following play, under pressure, he's sacked. Why was the ball levitating? Ladarius Winston leads the way for Baltimore, forcing a loss of 4. 2nd and long now. It's a handoff for Juskins, and he will get maybe 2. So that's going to lead to a big 3rd and 12 here for the Dragons, who obviously don't want to have to punt this ball again. Puma Whitlock calls an audible up the middle. Arturo Modelo, the offensive player of the year. With his first catch of the game, it's a first down to the 47. That was a 4 verticals play, so Puma knew many of the Ravens defenders would be going deep. He audibles Modelo for a slant, and it proves to be a great decision. Here's Modelo again, gets lit up, but not before gaining 7 as Bugsy Briggs, the right tackle, is hurt on the play. It appears to be a foot injury, and he'll be helped onto the trainer's table. Pea Puya will replace him. 2nd and 3, not much for Swift. He gets maybe a yard. Again, it's Ladarius Winston who brings him down. And that'll make it a 3rd and 1. Puma looks to throw it. Short pass is caught by Amarion Cephas for the first down. Cephas has been excellent in this playoff run. He has scored in all 3 games and has made very timely plays in each of the 3 playoff wins. From the 39 up the middle, it's Jamison Williams with his first catch of the game. He gets 8. And Puma Whitlock on this possession is 5 of 5. 2nd and 2 now from the 31. Back to Juskins with a hole. He gets the first down. Only gaining around 3, but that's enough to move the chains. Sometimes slow and steady wins the race. That's been the way of this possession. Here's play action. Puma on the run. Has Modelo. Breaks a tackle. And he's wrapped up out of bounds here at the 16. Arturo Modelo looking like his Offensive Player of the Year self on this possession with his 3rd catch of the drive. Following play, it's Swift up the middle. He only gets around 2. Patrick Queen leads the way for Baltimore. Their run defense has been pretty good for the most part so far. 2nd and 8. Puma finds a hole with plenty of room. Walks in for the score. The first touchdown of Super Bowl 63 is scored from the legs of Puma Whitlock. The Dragons are on top 7-3. Nice job there by Puma to take what the defense gives him. There's no receivers open, but there's plenty of space up the middle for him to score on the ground. A long drive, but a good one. And now Baltimore's got some work to do, trailing by 4. They'll get it back here with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, starting at the 25. On first down, play action, Lamar under pressure, and he connects with Zay Flowers, who is thrown down by Okuda, but not before getting it to the 44-yard line. That's the 6th-year pro out of Boston College. Following play now, Lamar Jackson calling for an audible, possibly, looks to throw it. Has plenty of time. Now on the run. Look at all that space. Lamar Jackson breaks a tackle and is wrapped up at the 29 by Nnamdi Sanaga, but not before getting 27. I think the Dragons' defense, for the most part, has been pretty good this year, especially when Simeon Bonnet is healthy. But the one problem with this team is they allow way too many big plays. And that's already been an issue early in this game, as the Ravens have relied on long gains early here in the first. Here's an open man. It's Palmer again! Inside the 5 to the 2. Those wheel routes have killed this team, not just this season, but for years. That's Diggins' 2nd time losing to Palmer. From the 2, 1st and goal. Lamar on the option is tripped up for a loss of 5. Penultimo Barahona and Jermaine Pratt bring him down. The Dragons' red zone defense has been fantastic this year. We saw it last week in the NFC Championship. We'll see if they can get another stop here. 2nd and goal, play action. Lamar under pressure. He's sacked! Samasoni Saluni brings him down to the 15. Saluni, again, one of the many expiring contracts on this team, makes a big play here off of the blitz. That's what won the game last week, was those blitzes. And already the Dragons get one to work early here. 3rd and goal. Lamar under pressure from Bonnet. Gets by Bonnet. And Sanaga splits the defenders on the run. Has Flowers for the touchdown. What a play by Lamar Jackson. And Baltimore takes the lead. Or do they? We've got a flag. Illegal touching. Did somebody call Chris Hansen? The flag is on Zay Flowers. And with that, it's a 4th and goal. And the touchdown is off the board as Malachi Weston is hurt. So as you can see right there, he steps on the white line. And because of that, the touchdown will not count. And it's unfortunate for Lamar Jackson because that was an unbelievable play. As you can see here, both edge rushers win their reps pretty much immediately. Bonnet throws the right tackle on the ground. You'd think it's an easy sack, but seconds later, they're both face first on the ground. And Lamar Jackson ultimately makes an incredible throw. That's all for naught because Zay Flowers missteps. That's going to be a 4-point swing. And in a game where you need all the points you can get, who knows? That very well could be the difference. Riley Patterson's field goal is good from 32. So the Dragons are going to hold on to their lead, 7-6. But if you're a Ravens fan, that's got to hurt. They should be up right now, but they're not. As Malachi Weston has dislocated his shoulder, he'll be out for the game. That's a big loss. Weston has been the Dragons' 2nd-best pass rusher this year behind Simeon Bonnet. He's had some trouble staying on the field here during the second half of the season, but it sucks that he's not out there because he's a key player defensively. And now Jalen Mallard on the kickoff return appears to be a little bit banged up as well, but he should be fine. So the Dragons get it here with 7 seconds left in the quarter. They still lead at 7-6. as Puma Whitlock calls an audible, looks to throw it on first down. As a wide open man, it's Amarion Cephas, and he gets around 20. Overall, a pretty good first quarter here for St. Louis. The defense is held up with a big stop in the red zone. The offense started slow, but Puma Whitlock has completed his last 7 passes, and he looks to be in a groove as the Dragons lead this one 7-6 going into the second quarter. From the 45, it's a handoff for Joe Mixon up the middle. He gets 2, wrapped up by Patrick Queen. Now from the 47, 2nd and 8, St. Louis getting pretty close to midfield. As Puma Whitlock will go for an RPO, it's Williams who breaks a tackle, but immediately is met by Jair Brown. Good play there by Marlon Humphrey with the initial hit, and so that'll make it a 3rd and 6. Puma, empty, has an open man, it's Cephas for the first down. Another big play by Amarion Cephas, who already has 3 catches in this game. He's been quite good to start the Super Bowl. Following play action, it's Modelo who gets around 8. That's his 4th catch of the game, and he is now in the zone. 2nd and 2, handoff for Darwin Juskins. He gets the first down, trying to juke away from the defenders, and he brings it to the 26. Following play here for St. Louis, 7.5 to go in the first half. Back to Juskins with blocks. He will get the first and more to the outside. Gets it to the 3. A big gain of around 23 yards for Darwin Juskins. And the Dragons are in the red zone. 1st and goal from the 3. Can they punch it in? Puma hands it off for Juskins. Fighting for yards. He's just short. Wrapped up not even at the 1, maybe the half-yard line by Marcus Williams. 2nd and goal. That's not even the half-yard line. That's like the quarter-yard line. Puma Whitlock again calling an audible. They are in shotgun. He'll look to throw it, and he's intercepted. Roquan Smith picks it off. And the Ravens hold St. Louis out of the end zone. Wow, what a play here by Baltimore. A costly mental error by Puma Whitlock. Arturo Modelo is 7-11 in the red zone. He's always open, but Modelo's usually lined up on the outside. This time he was in the slot for whatever reason, and Puma Whitlock kind of locked on to throwing it to him before the play. He didn't see Roquan Smith there, who lurks in for the pick. So Baltimore gets it as Joe Veldier catches that off the bounce. He will lose a yard, though. Nice play there by Samasoni Saluni, his 2nd tackle for loss of the day. This is a huge opportunity for the Ravens to get some momentum off of a costly St. Louis turnover on a possession where they should have gotten a touchdown. Read option for Lamar. He's got space. Fighting for the first down. He gets it. Still up. And he gets around 13 as Billing Boney, the right guard, is hurt. Boney's legitimately one of the best offensive linemen in the NFL. This is an all-pro caliber player, and this could be a huge loss for Baltimore. Following play, another read option, but the Dragons see it coming. Nnamdi Sanaga sniffs it out for a loss of 4. Sanaga has taken over starting reps away from DJ Orleans, who's being paid a lot of money, but Sanaga's just been a much better player. 2nd and 14. Here's Achan up the middle. He will get to the original line of scrimmage and then a little bit more, getting 6. Wrapped up by Jermaine Pratt. And that'll make it a 3rd and 8. Halfway through the second quarter. Big play here for Baltimore. Lamar Jackson looks to throw it. He's under pressure. Scrambles to the right. He's sacked. Simeon Bonnet brings him down, and that'll end the possession. Coming into this game, I feel like Bonnet really is the X factor. I think he is the most important player on the field today. More so than Lamar Jackson, more so than Puma Whitlock, because having Simeon Bonnet out there changes everything for the defense. And what type of Simeon Bonnet are we going to get? Are we going to get the guy who gets 3 sacks and wins you the game defensively? Or are you going to get the guy who's quiet? So far, he's off to a really good start today. Hopefully he keeps it up as the Dragons get it back on offense, coming off a costly turnover. But because their defense was able to get a quick stop, they'll start with good field position inside the 50. Here's DeAndre Swift. He gets around 3, wrapped up by Marcus Williams. If you're Puma Whitlock, you've got to be focused. We can't have any more of those bad turnovers. Short throw to Juskins, who is decked by Marlon Humphrey, but not before getting the first down. Prior to the interception by Roquan Smith, Puma had completed 10 passes in a row. 3.5 to go here in the first half. On the run, Modelo gets around 8. Another reception there by Arturo Modelo, who, again, has legitimately looked like the offensive player of the year in this game. He's already up to 5 catches. 2nd and 2. Puma has Modelo wide open. There's 6. Plenty of space. Modelo reaches for the end zone. He's short, and he is hurt. Oh, no, this is not good. Arturo Modelo, the Offensive Player of the Year, going to the locker room. A potential massive loss for the Dragons as their number 1 receiver is hurt. And the Dragons are now back at the 1. We saw what happened last time they were here as Puma goes for the sneak. He is short, wrapped up by Madden. Along with, obviously, the turnover on the last drive, Arturo Modelo not being in the game will also make them not throw the ball. 2nd and goal, another sneak, and he is in. Puma Whitlock with the first 2 touchdowns of the Super Bowl, but unfortunately it comes with a casualty. It's a quad strain for Arturo Modelo, and he officially is out for the remainder of Super Bowl 63. And that's really unfortunate because he's been fantastic all year. He's been fantastic today. 6 catches for 74 yards in just the first half. But his day and his season are now over. Bugsy Briggs, who already hurt his foot earlier, now hurts his ankle. Separate injuries for Briggs, but he's going to push through it as the Ravens return. So they trail currently by 8, just shy of the 2-minute warning here in the first half. A massive possession for Baltimore, and they get a 2-for-1 here because they start with the ball in the second half. From the 19, handoff for Devon Achane with space up the middle. He gets a first down, gaining 12. Good start to the possession. And that'll bring us to the 2-minute warning here in the second quarter as the St. Louis Dragons lead it 14-6. But the Ravens here with essentially back-to-back possessions have a great opportunity to potentially take the lead. From the 31, Lamar Jackson goes short for Cornelius Reese, who is lit up by Saluni. Lamar has only thrown 6 passes today, interestingly, as he's under pressure. On the run, it's caught. Nice grab there for a gain of around 7. 3rd and 2 now. Reese has it jarred away, incomplete. Ryan Nada with the hit, forcing the incompletion. That ball was right in his hands. And Cornelius Reese has great hands, but he can't hang on as the Dragons return, but without Arturo Modelo. J-Mo's going to have to step up. Isaiah Likely, Colin Robinson. I'm really calling on Amarion Cephas, though. I think he's been excellent here in the playoffs, and I want to see him emerge the rest of this game as Darwin Juskins gets 8, and St. Louis calls their first time out. So now the Dragons have an opportunity to take a 2-score lead before halftime. Puma on the run, under pressure, connects with Cephas to the 41, and they're going no huddle. They want to conserve these 2 timeouts. Puma in the zone. He will have that one dropped by Roquan Smith. At least he's choosing to throw it to Roquan when he's in the zone. Otherwise, I'm afraid that would have been caught. 2nd and 10. Puma looks to throw it under pressure. He's got Isaiah Likely, the former Raven, who get to the 39 as the Dragons call their second timeout, nearing field goal range with 37 seconds left in the half. Following play now for St. Louis. Here's Puma under pressure. He's sacked! Ladarius Winston brings him down. Dragons go no huddle. Just 15 seconds left. 2nd down. Puma goes short for Likely, and he gets around 7. The Dragons used their last timeout with 8 seconds, and what do you do here? Do you go for the end zone? Do you try to get closer, or do you just kick? St. Louis is going to take the points. In the past, we would have gone for the end zone, but learning from mistakes over the last couple of years, it's not worth the risk. 55-yarder for Dicker is good, and it is a 2-score game, 17-6. That was a long one for Dicker. Barely had the distance, but it does. Lamar Jackson kneels this one, and that'll wrap up the first half. The St. Louis Dragons lead it 17-6. It certainly hasn't been a perfect start. Puma Whitlock with an interception at the 1-yard line really complicated things. But other than that, the Dragons look pretty good on both sides of the ball. Minus the interception, Puma and the passing game have been quite solid. Defensively, I think we've been fantastic. We've been able to hold up Lamar in check. And while he has still been productive, he hasn't necessarily been elite. He hasn't taken this game over. Despite the fact that we're up by 11, I still want to focus on throwing the ball in the second half. We're going to run it plenty if we have this lead for a little while longer. But I trust Puma Whitlock. I want him to sail us to victory, and I think he has the capability of doing so. As for the defense, I thought about choosing contain QB scramble, but it hurts pass rush, and he'd be more accurate from the pocket. That seems like a bad idea. So we're really going to focus on the intermediate passing game because that's where the Ravens have been most effective today. throwing the football 10 to 20 yards away from the line of scrimmage. Here is Cameron Dicker, the kicker, and we are underway here in the second half, as it'll be a touchback for Baltimore and a massive possession upcoming here for the Ravens. The final 5 minutes of the first half did not go to plan for Baltimore, and they are now down by 11. They've got to get something going here quick. Lamar on first down as Cornelius Reese open again on the wheel route. And as I've been saying, those wheel plays kill this team. They've never figured out how to guard it. Big play for Reese. He gets it to the 44-yard line, and the Ravens are already off to a good start here on this possession. Following play, Lamar Jackson goes short. It's caught, but not for much, maybe 4. Nice tackle by Jermaine Pratt, who's been pretty good considering he was signed off the street not even a month ago. 2nd and 6. Here's Achane up the middle, has a first and more. Devon Achane breaks a tackle, runs into his receiver, still up, and he's tackled at the 29. If the rookie Iggy Maddox does not run into Devon Achane, I think there's a chance he gets a touchdown there the way he was churning, breaking tackles, which is impressive for a smaller guy like him. Short throw on first down is caught by Josh Palmer, jukes away from a flying defender, and it's a gain of 9 for the Ravens as they have it back in the red zone. They're looking to capitalize unlike the last time they were here late in the first. 2nd and 1, short throw is caught, and that's Josh Palmer again. He gets 5 more yards, and that'll go for a first down. Overall, pretty good drive here by the Ravens, a mix of big plays and short plays, but they've been really steady here on this possession. Lamar under pressure, he is sacked. Devontae Wyatt brings him down for a loss of 7. Wyatt's a guy who saw his snap count take a hit this year, but when he's on the field, he still makes a really positive impact for this team. 2nd and long now for the Ravens. They've taken some bad sacks today. Here's Devon Achane with a decent run, gets back to the original line of scrimmage, getting 7. And so now it's 3rd and 10. Big play here for Baltimore. A touchdown could bring this game as close as 3. A field goal makes it a one-possession contest, but does it really move the needle much? 3rd and 10 from the 15. Here's Lamar, has plenty of time, and it's dropped! What a hit by Bourgeois as he annihilates Iggy Maddox. Pretty much all 3 of Lamar Jackson's incompletions have been dropped, albeit that was a hospital ball. He was asking for his receiver to get killed, and, well, he almost did get killed. Field goal nearly blocked! Cam Lucifer had a chance there, but he just misses as Riley Patterson splits the uprights, and it is, in fact, a one-score game. But overall, a big stop in the red zone by the Dragons. They're still up by 8, getting possession of the ball back. We'll see if their offense can look to really control the pace of this game, and as long as they're smart and don't turn the ball over, they should be in a good spot. Here's DeAndre Swift. That's a good start. He gets around 12 or 13 as Patrick Queen is hurt on the play for the Ravens. Following play now from the 32. We're going to have to keep an eye on that clock. Currently sits at 6 minutes here in the third, but the Dragons are smart. That clock is going to churn fast. Puma Whitlock on the run. Downfield, it's dropped! Isaiah Likely had it in his hands, but a hit from Roquan Smith jars it out. And I feel like Marlon Humphrey could have made a play on that ball if he reacted quicker. 2nd and 10. Puma up the middle as an open man. It's Jameson Williams. He gets the first down to the 48. J-Mo hasn't really been this team's wide receiver 1 in a while, but he's got to look like it here in the second half. Another first down run by DeAndre Swift. He gets it to the 42. Even as Swift has gotten older, he still continues to be a productive player. Another guy who we signed late in the year who's been good. Juskins up the middle, does not get much, maybe 2, as he is wrapped up by Zach Allen. The Dragons are moving it, though. They've got it at the 40, and this clock is ticking. 2nd and 8, short throw is caught, a risky pass with 2 defenders in the area, but Jameson Williams hangs on for a gain of 4. 3rd and 4 now from the 36. Up the middle, it's broken up! Colin Robinson was open, but the pass was a little bit underthrown, as Wilson was able to get a hand on it and ultimately force the incompletion. That'll bring out the field goal team again, 53-yard try for Dicker. This one is up and good. Cameron Dicker has made all 4 of his kicks in this game, 2 extra points and 2 field goals, both of which have been beyond 50 yards. So the lead is back at 11, and we're back to square one where we were at the beginning of the third quarter, but instead of there being 20 minutes left, there's only 14. Still plenty of time, but The Ravens got to get something going here on this drive, as it's Devon Achane who gets around 2. Quick stop to open things up here for the Dragons defense, who still is not allowed a touchdown. 2nd and 8 now. Short throw is caught by Cornelius Reese to the 33. And so now it's a 3rd and 2 here. Massive play for the Ravens. They cannot afford to have this drive stall out. Lamar will look to throw it downfield. It's caught by Reese. Gets by Saluni and is wrapped up by Ronrakis Barber at the 46. Massive play there by Cornelius Reese, who's kind of been the go-to guy here since the start of the 3rd quarter for Lamar. He's looked that way early and often. Here's a read option now. Lamar gets by Bonnet, but he does not get by the second wave of defenders, wrapped up by Samasoni Saluni and Finnegan Howell Coleman. 2nd and 7 now, under 2 minutes left to go here in the 3rd. It's another read option, and Lamar breaks the tackle from Nada, but is drilled by Simeon Bonnet for a gain of 3. Bonnet continuing to make an impact on the run game, as he always does, and it's now a 3rd and 4 from the 41. Lamar throws it into the ground, incomplete. Finnegan Howell Coleman with the hit, and what do you do here if you're Baltimore? Do you punt, do you kick, or do you go? The Ravens lead the offense out on the field. I respect the aggressiveness. They're going to go for it. The biggest play of the game so far, and this one is caught! How did he get that? Cornelius Reese with the first down as the ball goes right through Jalen Bourgeois' hands. Bourgeois has never recorded an interception in his NFL career, but there have been like 3 separate plays in these playoffs alone where he should have gotten his first. That one literally went right through his hands. Following play, Achane gets around 3. He's wrapped up by Bonnet and Nada. I got to give Ryan Nada some credit. I think he's had a great game tonight, especially in coverage. 2nd and 7 now. Another read option for Lamar, but the Dragons are getting used to these. Jermaine Pratt brings him down, and that'll wrap up the 3rd quarter. We went into this quarter with the deficit at 11. 10 minutes later, it's still at 11, and now the Dragons are 10 minutes away from winning their first ever Super Bowl. But this game is not over. The Ravens have the ball nearing the red zone. 3rd and 7 from the 20. Play action for Wiseman. Lamar on the run. It's Reese. Touchdown! For the first time today, the Ravens are in the end zone, and a 2-point conversion would bring this game within 3. Big-time throw by Lamar Jackson and a great catch there by Reese. Ronrakis Barber, give him credit. He was there immediately with the hit, but Cornelius Reese holds on. Now for the 2-point try. Lamar Jackson in shotgun looks to throw, and it's caught! Hauled in by Iggy Maddox, the first-round rookie out of Colorado State. And just like that, it's a 3-point game, and the Ravens are right back in it. So now the Dragons offense has a little bit more pressure. They still have the lead, but it's not as big as when they last had the ball. On 1st down, Juskins up the middle. Good run. He gets around 9. I think the Dragons are going to run the ball a lot here. Give Darwin Juskins an opportunity to cook. But there's still plenty of time left in this game. They're not in full chew clock mode, as he's able to get enough for the first down. Hit hard by Justin Matabuike. Following play, RPO for Jamison Williams. Jukes by a defender, but the cavalry is there immediately. It's only a gain of 3. Xavier Proctor brings him down. 2nd and 7. Puma looks downfield. It's Robinson! Wide open! Colin Robinson to the 28. The longest offensive play of the night for the Dragons is in the hands of Colin Robinson, his first catch of the game. And as we know with Robinson, when other receivers are hurt and he gets his opportunity to shine, he usually delivers. He's been quiet today, but that's a big play for the former Idaho Vandal. Shout out the Kibbe Dome. From the 28, Puma on the run. He's going to scramble. Gets a block from Cephas and is pushed out at the 9. I'm surprised they didn't call that a late hit. Big run for Puma Whitlock, who's been very effective on the ground today. 1st and goal, 7.5 to go. Dumps it off for Juskins with room. Touchdown! Big drive by Puma Whitlock in the offense, and they're right back up by 10. Puma Whitlock was very good on that possession, not missing throws, trusting his receivers to make big plays, and keeping the ball out of harm's way. Darwin Juskins with his 7th all-purpose touchdown of the playoffs. and St. Louis leads 27-17. So right when the Ravens offense delivers, their defense falters. Gonna need another big drive here for Baltimore with 7:33 to go here in the fourth. Up the middle, Cornelius Reese is hit hard by Diggins. Nearly gets the first down, gaining around 10. Baltimore is obviously not going to go no huddle yet, but they've got to keep an eye on the clock as we now sit at the 7-minute mark. Lamar Jackson goes short. Zay Flowers with the first down. The first reception allowed today by Cam Lucifer, who has been exceptional again. Lucifer has been outstanding in all 4 playoff games here in the slot. Lamar on the read option, breaks the tackle from Nada, jukes by Saluni, and is wrapped up quickly thereafter by DJ Orleans. Even when Lamar makes the first defender miss, the Dragons are expecting these read options, and they always have 2 more guys ready to bring him down. 2nd and 6, here's Achane. He gets around 1. And that's going to lead us to a pivotal 3rd and 5. Lamar, by the way, in the zone with 5.5 to go here in the 4th. Here's Lamar Jackson, looks to throw it. Under pressure with plenty of room. 1st and more for Lamar. Gets by the defender and is hit stick by Okuda. As now Cornelius Reese, the outstanding tight end, is banged up for Baltimore. Another big run there by Lamar. The Dragons have had a QB spy out there 90% of the time, but when they haven't, Lamar has made them pay with runs up the middle. Gain of 5 for Achane. He's wrapped up by Ryan Nada. Even with the clock ticking, the Ravens still are not scared of running the ball. 2nd and 5. Back to Achane. He's got a first down and is in the red zone, wrapped up by Bourgeois. But there is a flag. This one is going to be an illegal block in the back on the fullback, Dane Hearns. And that'll bring them back to pretty much the original line as it's 2nd and 6. Under 5 to go. It's Achane fighting for yards. He gets 3. Wrapped up on the play by Bubba Watkins. 3rd and 3 now from the 22. Massive play here for Baltimore. Play action. Lamar under a ton of pressure from Bonnet. And it's DJ Orleans in with the sack. A massive play by Orleans, who obviously had a disappointing season this year. Only 2 sacks in the entire regular season. But when the Dragons defense needs a big play out of him, he's there. Got to give Bonnet credit as well, because Lamar was forced to roll out right because of the pressure by Bonnet. But DJ Orleans, winning his rep against the right tackle, Cameron Boger, directly leads to the sack, and the Ravens are going to have to kick. Field goal makes it a 1-score game. It's a 45-yarder for Riley Patterson. The kick is good. And the deficit sits at 7. 27-20. St. Louis with another stop here in the red zone. And now with that, it's a 7-point game with under 4 minutes to go. Jalen Mallard will return the kick, trying to take as much time off the clock as possible, but he doesn't want to do anything stupid, so he dives down at the 21. And now the offense returns. This could be it. Can Puma Whitlock, Darwin Juskins, and the Dragons effectively chew clock for the next 4 minutes? And if they do, they win the Super Bowl. On 1st down, it's DeAndre Swift. Doesn't get much, if anything, maybe a yard. Wrapped up quickly by Odafe Owe and company. 2nd and 9, that clock is moving. Puma Whitlock's going to hand it off here for Darwin Juskins, and he gets around 2. Good start to the drive for the Ravens defense. Now it's 3rd and 7. Do you run the ball? Do you throw the ball? The Dragons have options, but nonetheless, a first down would be gigantic. 3rd and 7. From the 24 to pass. Puma has Cephas open, and he drops it! Amarion Cephas had it right in his hands. That's probably a first down, but he blatantly drops it. I thought it might have been because of the hit by Humphrey in real time, but no! That ball's right out! I think he probably gets the first down if he just catches the ball. Perfect throw by Puma Whitlock right in the breadbasket, and all of a sudden, the Ravens can tie the game up. They get the ball back, only down by 7. Up the middle, it's Flowers. A big start to the drive, and now Simeon Bonnet is hurt. This game is unraveling quickly. We have played 5 playoff games over the last 2 years, and it feels like we've barely seen Simeon Bonnet. If you gave me a nickel for every full playoff game Simeon Bonnet has played over the last 2 years, I would have no money. I would be broke. From the 40, another wheel route and another first down. Barahona nearly makes a play on the ball, but it's Devon Achane to the 26. As Simeon Bonnet has suffered a bruised shoulder, he's going to come right back in the game. We need him here at the 2-minute warning. We cannot afford to have Simeon Bonnet not on the field, especially considering how productive of a game he has had. And just like that, we're at the 2-minute warning. The Dragons are 2 minutes away from winning the Super Bowl, but this game is not even close to over. 27-20, first down for the Ravens from the 26. Lamar on the run, connects with Joe Veldier, who gets it to the 10. Baltimore's really struggled in the red zone today. Can they finally punch it in here to tie the game? And if they do get a touchdown, do you consider going for 2? From the 10, handoff for Devon A. Chan. He gets around 6. And if I'm the Ravens, I chew as much clock as possible. Right now, the clock is Baltimore's friend, and they're not going to want to give the Dragons much time with the ball, right? Second and goal from the 4. Lamar looks to throw it, rolls right. Bonnet chases after, and he's in for a score! Lamar Jackson outruns Simeon Bonnet, and the Ravens are an extra point away from tying this ball game. What a possession by Lamar Jackson, leading a game-tying drive, or possibly game-leading, if the Ravens go for 2. What's the play call from Coach John Harbaugh? Maybe the biggest decision of the night, and it is the kicking team out on the field. Honestly, I don't blame him. I don't think I would have the balls to go for 2 either. Kick is good. We are tied at 27 with 1:06 to go in the 4th. The kickoff will be received by Mallard, and now that the Dragons need all the time they can get, he'll kneel it in the end zone. Alrighty, this is it. Can Puma Whitlock show the world what we already know? Can he lead the Dragons down the field for the Super Bowl? The biggest drive of his life is on first down. It's a screen for Darwin Juskins. What a block by Rosenberg, and he's out of bounds at the 39. The rookie center, Mason Rosenberg, levels a defender, helping Juskins get extra yards and stop the clock. 1 minute to go now. Here's Puma. He connects with Cephas, who does catch the ball this time, and he gets 7. I imagine the Dragons want to hold on to these timeouts as they go no huddle under 40 seconds left. 2nd and 3. Puma on the run, under pressure, takes his shot. He's got Jamo! It's Jamison Williams to the 16. St. Louis is in field goal range, and they call their first timeout. Now the Dragons have to be smart here with the football. No turnovers. You absolutely cannot turn the ball over here. Manage the clock and you win the game. Juskins on first down loses 2, and they will use timeout number 2. Now the Dragons are not looking for a field goal yet. They still want the touchdown just in case there's any funny business with the Ravens offense. Here's Puma looking for Robinson. He can't hang on. Perfect throw by Puma, but Robinson cannot make the catch as it's jarred out by Jair Brown. 3rd and 12 from the 19. Puma looks for Cephas, and it is overthrown, broken up by Marcus Williams, who had his hands on it. And now it's 4th and 12, and now it's time for the field goal team as the Ravens will call a timeout to ice the kicker. It's a 36-yarder for Cameron Dicker, who's been money today. He's been money all season, but he struggled with high-leverage kicks in the past. From 36, Cameron Dicker, the kicker. Never a doubt. Right down the middle. And the St. Louis Dragons take a 30-27 lead with just seconds remaining. There's 9 seconds on the clock. Cameron Dicker's going to kick this ball as far as he possibly can because the Dragons do not want to give up a kick return touchdown. So the Ravens are going to have time for either maybe 2 Hail Marys or try to get a quick play downfield and hope you're in field goal range, which probably feels like the better idea. With 9 seconds to go, this is it. Lamar Jackson looks to throw it, has time, he dumps it off for the running back, and it's incomplete. We're down to 5 seconds. Riley Patterson's warming up, but I don't think it's going to matter. I think the Ravens' only chance here is off of the Hail Mary. So with that, this will be the final play of the game. From the 25-yard line, can Lamar Jackson complete a miracle? Here we go. Lamar looks to throw it. He's under pressure from Bond, and he floats it up short. It's caught by Flowers, who is hit hard by Okuda, and that'll do it! The St. Louis Dragons have won the Super Bowl! The Lombardi Trophy is headed home to St. Louis, Missouri, as the Dragons have done the impossible. 6 years ago as an expansion franchise entering the NFL, going through trials and tribulations, heartbreaking playoff losses, and dumbfounding moments have all led to this championship triumph for the Dragons. Puma Whitlock wins his first as the Lombardi Trophy is passed around. Everybody get a good look, get a good touch, get a good smooch. And here we go. The franchise, Puma Whitlock, holding up the trophy. Many of you guys thought he would never do this. After struggles in the playoffs early in his career and struggles staying healthy, the Dragons stick by him. They give him the massive extension, and before the contract even kicks in, he leads this team to a Super Bowl. Another championship for Puma Whitlock to join his 2 college football national championships and his 2 college football playoff most valuable players. Let's take a look at the numbers of this really, really fun game. We were in control pretty much the entire way, but the Ravens never stayed out of it to where they were able to tie the game with around 2 minutes to go before a game-winning drive from Puma Whitlock and the offense. Many of the team stats were overall pretty similar for the most part. Time of possession was pretty even. I thought both quarterbacks played quite well. Was not a perfect game from Puma Whitlock. Yes, the interception was utterly brutal. But other than that, he was really good. And honestly, in my opinion, should be the Super Bowl MVP because there's nobody else on our team who was as vital to our success as him. Lamar Jackson was also spectacular in the passing game and the run game. He was excellent. He is not the reason why the Ravens lost this game. He was phenomenal. Both teams ran the ball well. Lamar, Achane, Juskins, and even Puma Whitlock, who scored twice on the ground in the first half. Also got to give a major shout out to Juskins, capping off an unbelievable playoff run. Cornelius Reese led all players in terms of catches and yards. And then going back to Zay Flowers, that illegal touching penalty in the first quarter ended up being the difference. A 4-point swing in a 3-point loss. I said right there, that play very well could be the difference. Yes, I was foreshadowing. The Dragons' leading receiver today was Arturo Modelo, despite the fact that he only played a quarter and a half. Had he played the entire game, he'd probably win Super Bowl MVP. J-Mo had a nice day, though. Juskins had the big touchdown. Amarion Cephas played well, minus that awful drop in the fourth quarter. And then I got to give a ton of credit to the offensive line. They were great all year. They were fantastic in the playoffs. Sharif Sully with another phenomenal game. He's been unbelievable all year. And then Bugsy Briggs deserves so much credit, battling multiple lower body injuries, playing through them, and he played quite well. The defense, I think, as well, deserves a lot of credit. Wasn't great in the fourth quarter, allowing 18 points, but they did well enough early to win this game. I said Simeon Bonnet needed to play well. I know the numbers don't jump off the page, but Bonnet was a consistent impact in the backfield. He was quite good today. Another guy who I think deserves a ton of credit defensively is Ryan Nada. Always around the ball, making plays in coverage. I thought Nada was our best defensive player today. There are a couple other guys I want to shout out. That starts with Cam Lucifer, who was a Dud of the Year candidate in the regular season because of his inconsistencies in coverage. But in the entire playoffs, in the slot, he has been locked down. Speaking of Dud of the Year, DJ Orleans made one of the biggest plays of this game with that third down sack with around 4 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. And of course, our other Dud of the Year candidate was Bugsy Briggs, who also, as I said earlier, was fantastic today. Cameron Dicker deserves a shout out. He made all 7 of his kicks, including the game-winning field goal. And then along with that, shout out to Presley Harvin. He did not have a very busy day, only punting twice, but he still deserves a shout out nonetheless. So there you go. We've done it. The St. Louis Dragons have won the Super Bowl. Head coach Scotty Pickens gets an extension. That is an appalling offer. 3 years for $5 million? Are you kidding? Coaches are getting paid like 10 times that. What are we doing? Let's take a look at the players of the week. Puma Whitlock and Samasoni Saluni win it for us. And the Super Bowl MVP does, in fact, end up being Puma Whitlock, which, as I said, I feel like is very well deserved. Sure, the interception was bad, but other than that, Puma Whitlock was really good in this game. He was money in the fourth quarter with 2 huge drives to ultimately lead us to the win. Puma Whitlock wins his first championship going into his age 27 season. He is now the top-ranked quarterback in the game. And now he's got an opportunity to hopefully win future championships, coming off an outstanding playoff run where his only game with a passer rating lower than 120 was this game. He had his worst playoff game of the year today, but he was still quite good. Now, Mahomes, Hurts, and Lamar are also 99 overalls with morale, but they're all in their 30s. They're all going to be regressing over the next few years, whereas Puma won't. So unless Bryce Young or Callaghan October catch him, Puma's going to be at the top for a while. Maybe Irwin Dundee could. He's only 22. He's coming off a great year with the Raiders. But this is Puma's league. There's only 3 99 overall players without the need of morale. One of them is Simeon Bonnet. Speaking of morale, our morale is still in the toilet. Not for these studs, though. So what comes next for the St. Louis Dragons? Because I don't quite think the story is done. I think there's another chapter in there, and we've got to figure out if we can win another. I think this team is in for some big challenges presenting our long-term future because we have no cap flexibility, and we've got a whole lot of guys we've got to pay over the next couple of years. As hard as it is to reach the mountaintop, it's even harder to stay at the mountaintop now that we've got a target on our back. With Puma, Bonnet, and Modelo's extensions kicking in this upcoming season, we don't have a lot of money to pay these guys, and there's a lot of them. Ronrakis Barber showed a lot of flashes this year. Marion Cephas, great playoff run minus the drop. Then again, Howell Coleman, Samasoni Saluni, very important player. DJ Orleans, Malachi Weston, Trajan Bleichenden, some Andre Max fifth-year option. Jabril Fofana wants a bag. Colin Robinson's an important player. Bugsy Briggs was a great starter for us here in the Super Bowl. Royal Osachua, Devontae Wyatt, Cameron Dicker, who made the game-winning kick. Even Jermaine Pratt, who was great over the last couple of weeks after we signed him. So I'm curious to see how we're going to be able to navigate these challenges. Now, I will say, I think we're going to be formatting the series a little bit differently now that we are nearing the end. I want to get through some seasons faster, kind of like we did in the Marlins franchise. We won our first World Series in Season 6. Then we did 2 super fast seasons, and those were 2 of the most fun seasons of the series. Brian De La Cruz, for instance, went from like a random role player on our team into literally the National League MVP. So we can get some really fun storylines with quick and fast seasons. And I think hopefully we're going to be able to win some more championships before we eventually get to the long-term sim. Normally, I would end the series around when the new Madden game comes out, but with EA College Football 25 coming out in around a month, I think I'm going to plan for the Dragons to be done around the time the college football game comes out because I have big plans for EA College Football 25. I haven't laid out the whole plan yet or how many more abbreviated seasons we're going to do, but just know this series will get its proper ending, especially now that we've won our championship. Hope everybody enjoyed the episode. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.